This is the exit interview for head coach of the Seattle Storm, Noelle Quinn. She was very generous with her time and answered lots of questions from the media.
Coach, the day after, just kind of thoughts and what you've processed.
Yeah, just I think still haven't really had an opportunity to do that quick turnaround coming in this morning. It's obviously disappointing to not complete the ultimate goal, which is to win the championship, and knowing that it's Sue and Bree's last year and all of those things, all of those emotions that come with that, but. Trying not to dwell on it too much, knowing that we did accomplish some positive things. There is some growth in a lot of players, so a lot of growth in me as a coach and as a person, and trying to just focus on that and, kind of close the book to this chapter with our exit interviews and just kind of, take a few days, get my off-season preparation going, and then get back rolling with our prep for next season.
Yeah, and just the last one, what does that look like the next few days in terms of once you close that chapter? What do you do to kind of?
Yeah, I actually have to go to Australia, so I'm with Canada basketball. Hoping that I could get a few days of rest, but that's something to look forward to. Obviously, qualifying for World Cup was amazing in January, whenever that was in Osaka. So looking forward to that. To me, that's another opportunity to grow and learn at an international level. With Victor, he's an amazing coach and a great group of women and an organization there in Canada basketball. So jump into that and then maybe get some rest after that. But you guys know I talk about my off-season prep and what I like to do. So I like to go and watch and learn from other NBA and college coaches. And so kind of getting that plan together as well.
Coach, we know there's going to be a lot of movement with some players in the offseason, but I'd love to know kind of what were some of the conversations you had with the players on their exit interviews, specifically Joel Lloyd, who looks to be such a staple and leader of this team moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Joel, just knowing, she said players want to come play with her, right? And I think for me, with my interview process with them, it's just, talking through the season, talking about, my thought process with them and obviously with certain players, we're returning, thinking about what they feel, what we need, who they like to play with and getting those thoughts. But that's a good piece to begin with. And just knowing, what she's done in this league, what she can do in this league, I think that makes Seattle a destination for a lot of great free agents.
Coach, you guys had a ton happening outside of basketball this season, but you were talking about just being proud of what we all accomplished. What are you most proud about in your coaching style and what the Storm were able to do this year?
Just my resiliency. Starts with the staff that I had this year, Pokey, Ebb, and Perry. I leaned on Pokey a lot. Obviously, she's been in this position and done her job at a high level. And then, Ebb and Perry both having the ability to work in the G League and now worked with us, and Ebb playing. That's experience, a lot of experience. And I think they gave me a lot of comfort, and I confidently empowered them to lead us in a lot of ways. And just knowing that within the course of a season, it's not going to always go the way that you plan, but you got to stay the course, continue to put the work in, be poised, be confident, and remain a steady leader. And I thought that I tried to do that as best as possible. And through the ups and downs of a season, you can never waver in who you are and the beliefs that your team has in you and that you want to, and the values that you want to instill, and just continuing to learn and grow in that way.
Coach, you've been a player and now coach in this league. From your perspective, what can members of the media do to better grow the game and to support or make it better?
I think, our game is growing tremendously just from viewership. You think about the ability to put our games on ABC or on primetime on ESPN networks. but also we know that social media is the way of life, not necessarily for me, but I think, just continue to get the stories of the players who maybe aren't publicized as much as or covered as much. So sometimes that is the ninth, 10th, 11th player on the team who definitely have stories to tell. But I think you guys have done an amazing job and continue to pour into, women to basketball and continue to be supporters and empowering our game and our voices. Just tell a friend to tell a friend. Once you experience it, once you come to a game, I think you have an appreciation for what we do.
We've seen free agency evolve with the new CBA.
Yeah.
Stewie kind of compared it to college recruiting. With as many free agents as you have, how aggressive do you plan to be this offseason recruiting people, whether it's re-recruiting players from the roster or recruiting players to come in?
Yeah, we have to be super aggressive and, be innovative and be intentional. You throw in overseas and you think about who plays with who overseas and what players that we have, and utilizing that as a recruiting tool and to capacity as much as possible. Players recruiting players. I think, obviously as an organization, starts with T and, the ability to understand our vision, what we want to do, what players we want to bring in, but also the players recruiting each other helps in that capacity. They want to play, they want to win. Climate Pledge is an amazing arena. We have a practice facility coming. So utilizing those tools as well for free agents to understand this is an amazing destination.
Unusual spot in terms of having both point guards retire. You got Jade Melbourne potentially in the mix next year, but is it important to bring in some experience to that position?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, just knowing that the point guard is an important piece, the first piece, really to building your team. And you think about having an amazing leader in that position, a franchise point guard to lead Stewie, to lead Jewel, to lead us to where we need to go, and the backup position is just as important. Looking forward to seeing Jade. I heard that she did really well in the camp, played against Canada basketball there, and I'm hearing a lot of good things about her. So it starts there, honestly. We're not going to replace what Sue brings and what she's done, but to have a capacity to kind of regroup in a way from that position, it's exciting for me, and another year of just growth and tweaking a system to fit the particular players that we need. I'm excited about that.
What type of conversations are you having with Stewie, who has kind of been non-committal about what she plans to do in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, our conversation today is, you guys saw all the bruises she had on her arm. Like, how are you, first and foremost? But just, from a standpoint of a coach and what the organization feels that is needed for her to be successful, for us to be successful. Those are the conversations that we have. And just knowing the trust that she has within me, just for her to understand where I will be for her, the trust that I have in her. We will continue to put great players around her, and just being positive with her, and just knowing that, whatever happens, happens, but she's the best, and she should be the best here in Seattle.
And obviously you probably don't want to make too much of the last thing you saw, but as you build your team forward, do you think of it like how can we beat the Aces if we see them again in a 5-game series?
It depends on if they win the championship, right? So it's like that would be the best of the best. Every year, whoever wins the championship is how do you match up to that team? What do you need? From that standpoint, we were in those games, with the exception of overtime. And so it didn't feel like this huge feat. It felt like we were right there. And so a couple of more, whatever that is, talking with Talisa in the offseason about what is needed. It is every season. Whoever wins the championship, what do you need to compete against that particular team? So if they win, then it would be that.
We're gonna go to Zoom right now. Jeff Brown, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, for you and Talisa, with only 2 players under contract currently, I mean, it's basically a blank slate for you guys to kind of build the team in whatever vision you want. And I was just kind of wondering, what do you think kind of needs to be added? Do you feel like you guys need to go younger? Just kind of what vision?
Jeff, can you repeat that question, please?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I was saying, for you and Talisa, like with just 2 players under contract, I mean, it's basically a clean slate. You can build the team in any type of vision you're looking for. And so I was kind of wondering what specifically that vision would be, and do you think the team needs to maybe go a little bit younger?
I think it needs to be a balance. You think about, youth in this league. You think about the teams that have won championships. It's not completely all rookies or all first or second years. It's always been a good balance of that. So, I think we need to, like you're right. We have a clean slate, an opportunity to add multiple players in various positions. We like versatile players who can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions. Obviously, athleticism within this league, ability to create your own shot, ability to defend. These are things and qualities that we will look in certain players. And if you're 38 and can defend and athletic, I don't want to put an age limit, but I think you have to have a particular balance to creating a roster.
And then Tina Charles was the only player that didn't have exit interview with us today. Did you get a chance to speak with her, and kind of how was that conversation?
I did. Conversation was very positive. I was just appreciative of the professionalism, what she brought, and obviously we didn't, finish the ultimate goal, which is to win a championship. But I thought she conducted her way in a very positive manner throughout.
Awesome. Thank you.
Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. Hope you're doing well, first of all. How challenging was that season for you, and how more mature you feel after that season from coaching standpoint?
I feel very mature. You think about it, Stewie kind of said this to me earlier. When you go through a season as a player, you grow and you learn every year. Like, this is the maturation of me as a coach. And I'm growing and learning every year. Through the adversity, just remaining steadfast in who I am. I'm very proud of that. It's not easy to be a head coach of a successful organization. And it is because you think about having, the big 3 that it is automatically means a championship. It's hard to win every single year in this league. And through it all, through the ups and downs, through the good and the bad, I think I just kind of remained me. And that's what I want to continue to do. As I have a career, hopefully a long career within this league, just to remain who I am, and not get too high and too low, confidently lead, get better, and hopefully that is continue to win championships.
Enjoy your off season, and we expect your next prediction.
Thank you.
We have time for a few follow-up questions in the room.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. That's as somebody who has played in this league and overseas, and now you're obviously coaching. Just your thoughts on prioritization and how that's going to impact this league going forward, and just maybe you also as a coach, is that something that? What type of advice do you sort of give your players in like that regard?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be our kind of first season going through prioritization and seeing how it impacts us. I'm for both. I feel like a happy medium as a player, former player. It is very important to understand that financial, you know, going overseas is financially lucrative for certain players, and you don't want to limit that. What it does too is you grow as a basketball player. You're able to make money and continue to work on your craft and play games and grow and get better. But at the same time, you know, the W is important, and it is important for young girls who aspire to play in our league. It is important for the particular players in our league. It is important for the former players within our league. And so, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle. You know, I understand both sides, and hopefully it works out for the best for our organization. I will never say it should be this or that, because I'm for the person, whatever that person feels is necessary for the betterment of them, their families. I think that's important as well.
If you have maybe a free agent who is in that type of a situation, is that somebody that particularly figures into your plan, or do you then have to move on if they're going to miss the first?
Yeah,
part of the season?
obviously, yeah, that's something you have to continue to think about, you know, when you're in, that's another layer. We haven't had to think about that within the process of free agency. And so just making, that's a big decision that T will have to make and I will have to make, as far as, again, what's best for the organization, what's best for the team. And we'll cross that bridge when it comes. But these are layers of the offseason that we will definitely be prepared for as we look into free agents.
For so long since Sue was drafted, basically, you've been able to look at the big three as the core of this
Yeah.
team. With Sue no longer being part of that, do you see some of your younger players growing into that core?
Yeah, you know, you look at Ezzy, who had an amazing year, you know, and knowing that what she brought to us on the defensive end, but also her growth offensively is amazing. You look at Gabby and her growth within our league and the success that she had with our team, the confidence that she played with. I thought that she did an amazing job. And, you know, obviously it's, you know, there are different free agents who we feel like fit what we want to do. But starting with the players who came and played excellent, Steph had an amazing year as well. There are pieces with our younger players that, you know, you think about what they can develop into. And, you know, obviously it starts with Jewel and Stewie now. And we put the pieces together with those two as our core.
Coach, I know you don't do social media, but there is a storyline that you could explore options as well as someone from Los Angeles, and that being open. Is that something that is interesting to you, going back home?
I didn't know that was an option. No, I love Seattle. I love that I was entrusted to lead and coach this particular team. I am interested in building here. I'm so looking forward to our off season. In our next season, again, I feel like it's a chance to finally to again be able to put an imprint on this organization, and just ultra focus on Seattle.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Enjoy the off season, and we look forward to watch you at the World Cup.
All right, go Canada. Yeah, no problem.
All right, that's a wrap for exit interviews. Thank you, everyone who stayed with us.